Voy a hacer una breve introducción de Florence Jacob. Sorry for my French. Okay.
It's fine.
Ella es productora ejecutiva y socia de Caviar, Francia. También es la presidenta de la Asociación Francesa de Productoras y actualmente también la presidenta de la Asociación o la Federación Europea de Asociaciones Europeas de Productoras. Creo, vamos a empezar a hablar un poco sobre el topic. Después quizás estaría bueno hacerle algunas preguntas a ella, aprovechando que la tenemos acá. Algunas preguntas para que ella pueda responder un poco de lo que está sucediendo en Europa, ¿no? And so, let's go. How are you?
Muchas gracias para recibirme, ¿sí? Dice, ¿cómo es? ¿Dice? Sí.
Muchas gracias por recibirme.
Pour recibirme. Oh là là. OK. Merci beaucoup de me recevoir. Thank you so much. I think we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in Europe and globally. So I rather put the cap on of the European market rather than the French one, because it englobes more a bigger vision, so to say. So the European EPA, which resumes all the production companies in Europe, are like 1,200 production companies, so which allows us to have quite a wide spectrum of what is happening in Europe right now. We all know that the markets are moving right now. Everywhere, the same movements are happening. The markets are nervous. People are nervous. The companies are nervous because change is happening. The change is majorly coming from our clients because classic TV is going away, giving some space to digital, obviously. Digital has been massively growing, giving the chance for in-house production, we love this name, to grow massively. So today in Europe, what we see is that our models of independent production companies have a new competitor coming up. A new competitor who was our contractor before, which is the agency, and which now becomes a competitor on some pitches against us. So it's a little bit David against Goliath, because the sizes of our companies are not at all the same size. And we see a lot of tensions coming up on all the markets. It's happening everywhere. So we have been talking to America last week. It's happening there too. Mexico, France, Spain, England, everywhere. So that's why it's interesting to analyze this problematic with a little bit of distance. So majorly, the question that we had in this talk was, are clients still interested about quality?
Yes. Yeah, production.
Production. They have never really identified what is production. What clients are interested in is the cuts of how fast they can produce and at minimal price. So before we had a classical model of a client, agency, and then production company and post house, where now everything is mixing up. More and more clients are staffing themselves with integrated creative sets and integrated production. In America, it's happening a lot. I was just in New York, where really it's growing massively. In the clients and themselves, they are staffing themselves to integrate, to cut costs, and find a new way of cutting costs, so to say. Agencies obviously also see their model shifting due to arrival of IA, which is going to have an impact on creativity, for sure. How is creativity from where is it going to come? And massive blind cuts in the honoraire, in the payments of clients to agencies. So the whole agency models have been also, let's see, unbalanced. These are very big structures. When you look at Publicis, it's 130,000 employees. How do you keep these structures alive when the clients start cutting massively the agency fees? Mm-hmm. So their idea was to integrate production. So the integration of production had then the impact on us, obviously, and on our directors, because our business models were made to create talent from small to make them big.
And stop there, because you said something before that is interesting. And I think that we need to be clear the difference between quality and production, right? Yeah. Because I think that quality is something closer to us, I mean to the production companies, that we try to add value to the client. And production means maybe money. And maybe what is happening right now with the production is that everything is through about money, right?
Right.
So, and a lot of things that are happening right now in Europe and even in the US, as you said before, and in Latin America, of course, is that the clients are trying to be more, let's say, clever with the money, maybe, in terms to save money. And that's why these new production companies, integrated production companies, maybe are more strategic for them because they are saving money. So the question is, I think that right now, maybe the clients are more interested in production than in the quality, right? What do you think about it?
I think also the consumers have changed a lot. How do people consume? What are they? Today there are some analysis which have been done about the concentration of new consumers, how long they concentrate on a media. Today the clients try to see how much attention they can get in a click, how fast they have to capture. Before it was, I think, in 3 seconds. Now they have 1 second to grab the consumer's attention, especially with our kids who go like that on their phone all day long. So also the way we attract a consumer has totally changed. Classic TV is not there anymore, so clients are searching a way to see where they position themselves to get this attention of the markets. And of course, this has an impact on quality, because before you had a 40-second or a 30-second. Now on French TV, they are battling about if it should become 20 seconds. And we had a film, we had a story, we had an emotion to tell about the product. Now most clients just want to be everywhere on all media, on TikTok, on everything, where they can grab half a second of attention. And this is more content in its mass, which is not quality. It's just being everywhere on every platform, versus some quality films. But there are still the brands. I mean, there are still major brands, especially in car, in luxury, in tech, that are very attached to quality. When you do a commercial for Mercedes or for Hermès or Dior or so, I mean, I can tell you it's really about quality, yeah? And like their tailor-made handbags, every single image is thought of. But this is a handful of clients today. The mass market is being absorbed by the integrated production companies because it's all about just creating cheap, fast, minimum schedule, and we don't care how it looks at the end as long as the mass is created. This creates integrated productions where there are 90 employees or 100 and something employees in one production, whereas our production companies, we were just talking about it, and average office is 15 employees. So, and then you have companies like Hogarth, 7,500 employees for whole production, you know. To create how much content, that's the question, and how much is film about it. So I think clients have shifted among digital content, where maybe quality is not the main aim. It's cheap, fast, and minimum cost. And some visual clients who will put the money on the table, even though it's less, but still there is still budget, and who will sell their film to platforms. Because when you look at the curves, you see that TV has been replaced by our media is now on the platforms, on Netflix, on all these media platforms, where actually the viewers watch the TV, they watch the beautiful ads. And that's where the quality clients actually position their ads today. So it's this whole world which has been completely shifting and which has been, let's say, unbalancing our way of working. And possibly this will have an impact of how many of us on the independent market are going to still be there in a couple of years, and what is going to become an integrated production, what is it going to provide for the clients, and how much the clients are going to take on their side also. Because this is something, in all the discussions around the world that I hear, we never hear the clients. And that's going to be very funny when they are going to say what they want. Because at least in some sectors, they are now starting to come more and more direct to us. It's not easier relationships, but it's more direct relationships where producers start to make also creativity, because more and more creatives are becoming freelance also and want to have this freedom to punctually work with the Landia, Caviar, Iconoclast, blah, blah, and jump from one experience to the other, and then sometimes an agency and be free to explore their creativity, which is very difficult now in an agency network where the pressure is very big to produce volume for creatives. It's very, it's very hardcore. And so a lot of them become freelancers. And it's going to be interesting how much the production side internally at the client side is going to evolve as well. And that's going to be the next 5 years. That's going to be the growing side.
And what is happening exactly in France right now?
So right now, the major thing is the discussions between integrated production companies and the independent market. Because we are a market where we still develop a lot of talent from scratch, so which means developing talent means investing into people. When they arrive, they are 20 and they have one poor film and they're real, and you build them up to make cinema. That's what we do, right? So how do you invest in talent when all the media projects, which were the ones where you could actually make some profit and inject in your talent, when this disappears? So the question right now is, in France, we have two of the biggest media groups of Europe, number 2 and 3, which are allocated on the Champs-Élysées. Bad for us, but that's how it is. So they are there, and they decided to integrate 60 to 70% of the production since January. So you have a market of 120 production companies in France, which has been totally imbalanced. There are, like everywhere in Europe, 10 companies ruling the business, let's say, the high-scale business. But all the middle, which were great production companies and which were operating on the medium subjects, from 2 to 300, food, beverage, and easier project, but nice ones, these projects don't exist anymore on the independent market. So we are a market where, like you in Spain, had very complicated discussions, very complicated ones. We see now agencies stepping up to pitch against us since January. The two media groups want to pitch against us, so our contractors have become our competitors. And we have identified, like most countries where it happens, a conflict of interest. Because how can an agency producer be paid every month by an agency who is also our competitor on a competition, where the creative director says, baby, this one is for us, huh? Bring it in. You are fucked. You can't do anything. So we have a problem of transparency in these pitches. So the independent market, we managed to unite the production companies and all have a united decision that we don't pitch against them, which created a problem on the client side because the clients wanted these 10 companies in the pitches. So we blocked the system in April of pitch on some strategic brands. And we started discussions. We started discussions about transparency.
Discussions with the clients, right?
With the agencies first.
Agency first, okay.
First. Because the problem we had is not with the clients, is with the agencies when they step against us on pitches. Because we had some very unfortunate experiences after 10 years of bidding against them. There were still some companies who accepted to pitch against them. It was a minority, but there were some. And we regularly had experiences where there was theft of information, our numbers circulated, our treatments were suddenly found in the other one's treatments from the integrated. So things which alarmed us. So we said, okay, guys, if we can't do it clean, we need a net of protection. So like in America, there was a platform which was created by an independent company which is called Quartz, which we are in discussion with right now with the agencies, with the union of agencies, because we have a union in France which englobes, where basically the client and the procurement is there when we take the briefs to make sure that when an agency is against us on pitches, We all have the same level of information. We have the same amount of budget announced. We know exactly who are our competitors, and not the 4, 5, 6 director coming behind our back. Oh, this one, I didn't know he was there. So just to know exactly the configuration of the bid. And we are, of course, in discussion right now if this platform can be accepted. There was already, BETC already pitched on it. It was a very good pitch, very transparent. They were very happy with it. Of course, some other groups have some issues with it because this means absolute transparency about money, which means that the clients are going to see our real numbers. And
that is something that we've been talking today, right, during the lunch.
Yeah.
And it's because, as you know, we had our meeting before start these conversations, and we think here that we are the only country that maybe we have some problems with the transparency and corruption and these kind of things. Yeah. But we've been talking today, and you told me about this situation in France. I think that is scary because if in France it's happening that some agencies, how say in English, modify the numbers to present to the client, in a way, right? Okay, so we have and we are talking about one of the biggest groups in the world of advertising. So it's complicated, right?
It's complicated, and I think actually it's not one group. I think it's habits which have been going along since a long time. That numbers are, let's say, modified because we don't know what is presented to clients. We are not there. We never know. You all know that sometimes you do treatments, and the treatments and numbers are not presented, and you think you are presented, but you are not. So there's globally there is a black zone where no one knows what is happening in the client meeting, actually, you know? It happened in my career that I had a TV producer where, like, so how did it go? A cost controller, I said, how did it go? And she was like, what do you mean? I didn't see you in this pitch, you know? I was like, okay, good. So modification of numbers, I think, have been happening. I mean, it's something which has been happening since a while, but I think the fact that now there's less and less money and that budgets are cut and that we are always going on a red line on shoot, meaning there is no more buffers or security zones when we go and shoot. Either we lose money or we manage to be on the red filet, you know? So numbers become key in an equation to make a film happen today. They become so key so that we need more transparency than ever because every decision on our budgets will impact how we can actually make it happen, the shoot, and how we can absorb any unpredicted element. And there are rarely now shoots where a producer can come back and say it was super smooth. Do you have any? I mean, it has been years that I can't say it was super smooth. It's really getting really tensed a lot, you know? So it's not only in France. It's happening in UK, it's happening in Italy, it's happening in France, in Germany, everywhere. So it's not a phenomena which is French, but it started first in France because the first integrated production company was created in France.
Prodigious, right?
Wait, prodigious. So I think we are the ones which are the most advanced in this experience since 12 years or 15 years of seeing how it goes, how they move. So we are not in an emotional analysis anymore. It's not emotional talks anymore. It is very factual talks about where can we recoup market share. The first answer is direct to client. We are lucky because we have the luxury business which has started years ago to integrate production. Hermès, Chanel, Dior, they all have their integrated creative studios and TV producers. They don't externalize their production. They go direct to us, which showed us that there's also another way of doing it, and that maybe the loss of market share, we can recoup it also another way around through direct to client. So I think a couple of companies are already transformed in this direction. There are others who still are in the classic model, which is more a representative model of directors, who are in danger, because also in the discussions, in the honest discussions we had with these groups, they said that the ones, and they used the term, who are going to survive, are they going to be the talent creators? Are going to be the ones who offer a singular offer which no one else has, which means creating your talent, having the best producers, having an offer that the others don't have, maybe have a foot in cinema, have a foot in music videos. And this means that more than ever, the independent producers have to differentiate themselves from what agencies are doing and integrated. Otherwise, there's no additional value for the clients. And that was something I think they were very honest about, that as business people ourselves, we have to rethink our models to the future, because the past is the past and we can't cry about what is happening right now. We have to react very fast. And I think I'm very positive about independent producers, because I think I was running my union. I became the president of the union 1 week before COVID. Thank you very much. So I needed to re-put the business to work with Xavier, here, my director from the union, and we worked from 7 a.m. to midnight on how to get producers back on track. And the first ones who are traveling again, going into crazy countries, were the independent producers. And I think we are moving so fast in our structures. We are so agile in doing things, transforming, creating, that I'm absolutely not worried. When the signal is given to a market, and I see it also in Spain, you have the talks, you have the tough talks now, but it's happening, people are moving, changing, and you are a market with super good directors, which is a chance, because there are a lot of markets who have given up creating talent. In Germany, they don't create talent anymore. In Spain, France, UK, we still create wonderful directors. And this uniqueness is our strength, because there's no one else, no clients, no agencies who are going to create these directors rather than us. And I think this uniqueness, we have to fight for it. We have to continue. And that's why I see a really bright future, because I think that no one else knows how to do that. Because it's a lot of patience. It's taking these directors in good and bad times, like in a marriage, and bringing them up. And our business models are made for this, whereas agencies are made for creative advice, for strategy, for responding to a client need on strategy, but certainly not to pamper a director who's crying when he doesn't work. Huh? That's not their job. Huh? Or a producer who cries and who is sad because he doesn't work enough. That's our job, to pimp these people. So I think we shouldn't think that we are doing the same work, because it's not, and we should accept that everyone has a very unique role in this system. We respond to client needs, but differently. And there's space for both identities, I believe.
Okay. And you're talking about, obviously, creative talent, no? And what else are you doing in France to face this situation with the integrated production companies? I mean, what is the strategy to face them?
The strategy is that there's so much of the market which has been absorbed that our first goal is to re-inject projects into the market, to re-get work for the producers. So blocking the market is certainly not the right decision, because there is going to be too much loss in numbers of companies. So we decided to create what I said, this platform, which is a negotiation. We asked our members of the French Union of Independent Producers to hold on till December to create this platform and to get into negotiation. And we are not only getting into negotiations with the agencies, but also with the clients, of course. Because when you have 2, 3, 5 major clients who follow this desire of transparency, then they will impose it. Because this way of transparency is already applied in major groups like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Nestle, these major groups who have such a massive...
But have you the chance to talk with the clients about this platform? And what they say about it?
They're very positive about it. Because in France, I don't know if you have this, but we have the CSR, which is you have to respect ecology, human resources, human beings, and ethics strategy in companies. And these companies only get financial help from the government if they respect certain CSR rules. And in these CSR rules, there is the word transparency also. So if we are the ones who guarantee this transparency and the respect of humans who work on pitches and who are respected in the offer they make, how do you want to say no? It's exactly responding to the needs that they have and which procures to them 100% security on their pitches. So clients are super positive about this, obviously. I mean, there's none of them. Actually, the idea even came through discussions with them, where the client, as Nestle said, there's such a conflict of interest when an agency integrated production steps onto a project against you guys, that they invented the platform. We just took the idea over for clients who might not have this tool, to have an independent company and an independent developer who has nothing to do with us. He developed this platform himself, and we just are behind this platform and promote it with him.
Okay, cool. So we don't have too much time, but no sé si alguien quiere aprovechar y hacer alguna pregunta, ya que la tenemos. A ver.
Si me ayudas, ¿se traduce?
Sí, si no, alguien va a ayudar.
Bueno, agradecerle a Florence su visita, que esté con nosotros. Me gustaría preguntarla como asociación europea, cuidados, que en todos los países el problema vemos que es... Gracias. Vemos que el problema que tenemos es muy similar, hay que llenar esos espacios oscuros, hay que entablar una conversación directamente con el anunciante. Si hay pensado alguna estrategia europea para trabajar juntos, quiero decir, al final el anunciante y muchas de las agencias son multinacionales que están en todos los países y que deberían de decidir sus políticas de manera también internacional. Entonces, mi pregunta es si hay alguna estrategia o algún plan a nivel europeo de todas las asociaciones para trabajar juntos en este sentido, bien sea con la plataforma de la que nos hablas tan interesante o alguna otra estrategia. Gracias.
If there's a European plan, right?
Yeah, a European plan from the association, right?
Yes.
Strategy, which is the strategy in the European?
Obviously, we are on the board of the EPA. Nico is with me as the board member of the European Union of Independent Producers. And the strategy is right now, a lot of countries have been reaching out to us about this platform. Germany, Spain, I think we also talked about it. Italy, America, I'm in LA next week also to talk about this. Because the strategy is obviously to create awareness everywhere, in all countries, because the problem is everywhere. So we had a talk last week with Mexico, for instance, who are interested in this platform because they have all these mixed pitches coming up right now. And I'm trying to have this, traveling with my little bag and telling that there are tools, that there's a way of working commonly in the world to find maybe a way of creating transparency together. Because the media groups we are talking about are not local, they are universal. It's multinational companies which have the same practices all over the world. So it's the same group acting everywhere the same. So my strategy is to develop for every country who's interested in creating transparency a dialogue where we can actually come up with the so and so many production companies who are behind us to have the same incentives. So we started talking since January with the different countries, how we can have a common speech all together and to act as a profession and not as a country, as a profession in the world of independent producers representing talent and creating content, and to position ourselves to, well, save our businesses, I would say, because that's where we are. So there is a common strategy, but we are at the moment of explaining country by country, and it's a lot of psychology, because not every country is impacted at the same moment, at the same time. And the first reaction of a human being is, I go on the pitch, I'm better, I'm going to fuck them up. But we had this already 10 years in France. We are not better than them. They are bigger. They are much bigger. They are more powerful. They have more people. So it's not being better. It's about how changing our system to get back market share. And that's where we help France, because we are already in this situation that you are in right now since 10 years. And I think the solutions are less emotional right now on my market. And so we will act as a métier, as a business, and not as individual countries. That's my goal as long as I'm at the European, heading the European Union of producers,
Okay.
not of Europe.
Yes.
De nada.
¿Alguien más? ¿Nadie más?
They're scared.
I think that you was very clear. That's right. That's why.
Sí, I hope so.
Okay.
Muchas
So,
gracias.
thank you very
so
much.
much. Thank you. Thank you.